What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the funniest or weirdest thing you've ever seen an American tourist do. This is from British people's point of view. This is a Reddit discussion where someone asked in this subreddit where you ask British people questions, what's the funniest or weirdest thing you've seen an American tourist do in Britain? I thought this was absolutely fantastic. um, I can only imagine what Americans are up to when they're abroad. I can really only imagine. I try to, think I'd be on my best behavior, but I know what Americans are capable of. And I thought this would just be hilarious, this discussion, hearing a lot of different points of view and stories, hopefully. So let's take a look at this. This should be entertaining. I know that you guys get a lot of questions about America. Excuse me for asking another. No, this is the place for that. There is, of course, the stereotype that American tourists are loud and obnoxious when abroad. Yeah, I would hope that Americans are like, come on our best behavior when we're traveling abroad. But that doesn't seem to be what happens, right? It seems like we somehow just carry our Americanism with us right on our sleeve and project it and we have to make ourselves known or something. So I'm a little nervous about what I'm about to read, but hey, at least it's funny, hopefully. Hopefully no one's actually genuinely been harmed by the Americans abroad in Britain. I've seen that while on vacation in Europe. So I know the stereotype doesn't exactly come out of thin air. Oh, so they're saying that there's truth to it. The American is saying that. So what's the funniest or weirdest thing you've seen an American tourist do in the UK or places outside the US? Funniest things can mean dumbest, clueless, etc. Yeah. Whatever stood out to you, maybe made you think, yep, that's an American. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. I just love London. It's just an amazing country. No way. I'm going to try to read these like an American would, by the way. I'm just going to put myself in the situation to get the experience. I really hope no American ever actually said this. This is just plain embarrassing. And yes, I would hope maybe if someone says something ignorant or foolish in another country, I wish there would be some doubt in the mind of the locals of who that person is, but it always seems to just be a safe bet that it's an American. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing? I just love London and it's an amazing country. All right. I concede a lot of things about Americans and my analysis of what they know. This is unusual. This is not normal. Most Americans, the vast majority of Americans, know London is a city. We do not think it's a country. This is abnormal, I swear. I've had an American tourist ask me how often I speak to the Queen. I live 300 miles away, and the Queen would not want to talk to me. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Unfortunately, this is 2 years ago. Obviously, the Queen has passed away at this point in time. But even when the Queen was still with us, Americans, for some reason, apparently used to ask quite frequently, English people, British people, if they've interacted with the Queen. Like, there was no point in time, no matter how ignorant I was in my little American upbringing, and not knowing about the UK and Britain, I never thought people were just casually visiting the Queen and engaging with her, the citizens of Britain. I don't know where this came from, and I don't know why so many Americans seem to do this, because I've heard this several times now. This is not an isolated incident. They do seem to think everything is in London. Oh, maybe like everything in England is in London? Yeah, okay. That's a good way of putting it, so I kind of understand. Yeah, me included. I'm I don't know a lot of what's going on in England, like geographically, cities, things, cool stuff. I try to learn as much as I can about it, but I know there's so much even I don't know, and I go out of my way to learn about it. So yeah, just imagine where the average American is at. When I was in America, they asked where I was from. Now, I have a bit of an all over the place accent from moving a lot, and people here can't place it, let alone overseas. I just went Brighton. I live in a small town, and Brighton is the nearest city. The American guy went, "Wow, what part of London is that? Wait, what's that part of London like?" Oh my gosh. No. See, even why why can't we even use deductive reasoning and be like, "Oh, is that in London or is that a city or a town?" Instead Americans are just like, "Oh yeah, Brighton. What part of London is that? Yeah, I think I've heard of that." Yeah. Uh, where are you from? England. Oh, what part of London? What? Wow, I didn't know that was so common. I gave Americans a lot more credit than that. A lot more credit than that. Wow, I'd actually like to know how common that is now. I mean, according to this is my only reference of weird and funny things American tourists do in Britain. And wow, that actually surprises me. Saw a bunch of Americans get on the Eurostar. What is the Eurostar? The train that goes from London to Paris under the Channel. They didn't realize that they had assigned seating and got kicked off the table they co-opted. Not the biggest faux pas in the world, so the Americans just took over a table on a train. I could see that. I could see that. There's definitely, I mean, I experience that in America, like on a daily basis. Americans tend to just do. They just do. They don't really stop and observe and think and wonder how their actions might affect other people. A lot of Americans just simply do what they want, which is admirable in a way and horrible in many ways at the same time. Okay. That was about France for some reason. Um, United Kingdom. I was in Cornwall for a few days, and we'd gone out for lunch in a cafe bar. A group of Americans were at the table next to us. They were lovely. Oh, seemed so excited about their trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of their group had been to the bar and came back with their drinks. He proudly announces, I got us all a pint of the best British cider. It's called Strongbow. The Brits drink nothing else." Okay, from my point of view as an American, I don't know what exactly the big problem is here. I'm assuming saying that Strongbow is what the Brits drink and they drink nothing else is a bit of a exaggeration and assumption. I don't know anything about British drinks, what British people like to drink. I don't know what Strongbow is. I don't know if it's the best British cider. But to say that the Brits drink nothing else is funny to me, and certainly probably not correct, right? The bar staff had definitely been having a bit of fun with them there. Okay. Were they, did they get led on, fooled by the staff? That's actually kind of funny. Okay. Interesting. I was once stuck behind an American tourist in a clothing shop. He was trying to pay with traveler's checks, and the shop assistant was patiently waiting for the 10th time. Yes, the shop accepted traveler's checks, but not ones in dollars, only ones in pounds, because in the UK it is necessary to use UK currency. Yeah, I mean, this would just probably highlight the fact that Americans don't tend to do a great job at researching the culture they're going to be visiting and adapting very well. That's what, like, if I were to go anywhere in the world, I feel like I'd be paranoid about, oh, am I using the right money? Do I need to look up, like, the exchange rate and if it's okay to use American currency at all, or do I need to make sure I'm on top of that? So this is like, I totally get this, and this is neither really weird nor funny as the as this discussion is supposed to be. It's more just like, Americans need to put a little effort. That's what was saying before. Like, Americans tend to just do. They tend to do and not think deeply sometimes. Um, okay. Yeah, that would just be like not good no matter where you travel in the world, right? To not understand how you pay for stuff. Okay, lived in Cornwall for my childhood, so I got a lot of tourists. I worked in a really small coffee shop, which had like an open kitchen plan so the kitchen staff could see out in the dining room. It was a slow day with an American family, 2 adults, 2 kids. They ordered 4 cream teas and 2 pots of tea. I had to take some time to explain. The cream teas came with a pot of tea, and that their order would result in 6 pots of tea total. I would definitely like probably at some point do something silly or like not smart like this. And I would really appreciate it if a local Brit corrected me. I would have no problem with that. So I totally would be fine with that. I would want that. I wouldn't want 6 pots of tea. What is a cream tea? Cream teas. They come with a pot of tea? It's it's a food. No. It's a tea let me make this a little bigger maybe. What popped up on Google was pictures of delicious food. Wait. A cream tea, also known as a Devon cream tea, Devonshire tea, or Cornish cream tea, is an afternoon tea consisting of tea, scones, cream, jam, butter. Oh my gosh. So when you order a cream tea, you're ordering like many things? Is that correct? Is that accurate? Is that why it comes with tea? And they were ordering tea as well. Okay, I get it. I get it. Thank you for explaining, Google. And hypothetically, this British individual. They seemed adamant about it. Oh no. But I got the impression they hadn't understood, so I striked the extra 2 pots of tea off the order. Wow, yeah, that's kind of annoying, right? You're trying to help out the American tourists ordering 6 pots of tea. Maybe you should have just let them learn from their mistake, but then they might have complained or something, called you over and be like, why'd you let us order 6 pots of tea? You knew we were being stupid. You know, you just can't win sometimes. You try to help, and they say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So what can you do? I appreciate your effort in trying. Once they got their order, they seemed happy. I went behind the till and went about my work until I glanced over to see if they were okay. They looked disgusted, like really ill, on the edge of vomiting. So I ran over, asked if they were okay. What I saw on their table, I'm not kidding, had to be close to high treason. Oh boy. These MFers had poured their teas into their cup and placed their cream and jam on their scones the wrong way around. I have no idea what's going on right now. And had been dunking them in their tea. Okay, I don't think I'd do that. When I tell you I lost it, I couldn't hold it in. I was laughing so hard. They had clotted cream floating in their tea, chunks of jam. Okay. I feel like since I'm the American here, I can sympathize with them. I don't know what's going on. If I got all this crazy stuff with my, what do you call it? You called it cream tea. I wouldn't know what to do, and I'd probably be a little embarrassed to ask for help. So I'm not surprised all that happened. I still don't really understand what they were doing wrong. They were dipping their stuff in the tea. That's obviously, I don't think I'd ever do that, but okay. That definitely sounds weird. Probably extra weird and bizarre and ignorant to British people. But as an American, I actually felt what they were feeling. I don't know what I would be doing stuff like that. So, okay, fair enough. I've seen a group peering in through the windows of someone's house in the Lake District to see what it's like to live in. I've seen a group peering through the windows of someone's house. Oh, in the Lake District. Like someone's nice house in like the Lake District sounds very nice, by the way. Very fancy. But no peeking in people's windows to see, that someone lives there. So tourists are like coming and thinking everything is just a tourist display. Like, oh, what's going on in here? No, no. Americans, if these were Americans, they should know better. Like, stop peeking in people's houses. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh, imagine living there and people like peering through your windows like randomly. I bet you'd get used to it after a while, as sad as that is. You'd be like, oh, there they are again. Like, like watching me walk through with my bathrobe. Okay, two arguing whether it was London Bridge or Westminster Bridge. I don't know the difference, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I figure they're different things, right? It was Tower Bridge. Oh gosh. As stated on a sign next to them, they hadn't noticed. All right, it's extra bad that there was a sign, but um honestly, with like cell phones and internet and Google Maps and stuff, you really should know what stuff is at this point. We're beyond the days of having to ask a random stranger on the street, although they could have even done that. And the fact that they were arguing loud enough that you heard them, and they were arguing over something that they were incorrect in both directions on, is funny. Okay. Um, Climbing into the beds in Auschwitz to try them out. I wish I were joking. Oh, yeah, that's just not right. Yeah, like this guy said, ugh. That's no, they should get thrown out, tossed out. No, 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 no. When I was a student in a small university town, I was walking along the high street. An American tourist stopped me and said, "Excuse me, miss, do you know how can get to a certain hotel?" I explained it as best I could. The man said, "Thank you so much, and this is for you." What? What's he giving you? And before I knew what was happening, he had pressed something into my hand and gone away. I looked, and it was a two-pound coin. Ah, you got $2. I mean, there's there's a lot worse stuff that could happen with American tourists. A lot worse experience. He gave you money. He'd tipped me. For reference, I was an adult. I was just a passerby, not an employee. I still don't know if he thought I was a child. Why would that make it any better? Why would giving money to children be any better? If he thought I were a starving third world street urchin, or thought the whole UK was a theme park staffed by people in ordinary clothes. That's funny. Yes, every person in the UK is just an employee of the UK there to help with us Americans in our travel experience. Thank you. We will tip you, though, so thank you. This is so funny. I love that the guy thought it was totally normal. You know what? If someone came to America and asked me something and I answered and they gave me money, I would be weirded out, very weirded out, but I guess I wouldn't be mad. I might feel bad. The first thing to say is that nearly everyone exemplifies the worst of their countries when on holiday. True. True. It's a mix of anonymity and diffusion of responsibility. Oh, very analytical here. Second, oh my gosh, I have so many. I'm British, but I live and work in a very popular German town. There is the usual. High school, college jocks come rampaging into the bar. Smells like freedom in here. What? This sounds like some kind of like TV show or something, or a movie. Like American high schoolers on vacation running into the bar screaming it smells like freedom? That would be quite a sight. Even as an American, that would be quite a... That's like an American stereotype or something. Smells like freedom. Ha 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 ha. And very sweet but well-meaning Americans telling me, a British bartender, that IPAs are coming to Europe soon because they hadn't conceived of the idea of something originating outside of the US. Oh, I bet that kind of thing happens so much. So these Americans were telling you, they thought IPAs are like an American invention, an American thing only. So they were trying to teach you, who you're a bartender. They're trying to tell you, oh, hey, these things, IPAs, they're coming to Europe soon. Don't worry, it's going to be very hip. We know all about it. Okay, that is embarrassing and kind of a know-it-all attitude. Okay, that's pretty good. Sort of a fun story. American here. Oh, an American. Okay. The first day we landed and made it to London, we stopped at a random pub. Hadn't had the currency long enough to know easily what to pay with. So we ordered from the bartender, who looked like a football hooligan. Okay, interesting detail. I just sort of held my palm open with all the coins. Yes, yes, just hold it all out and be like, "Can you like figure this out for me, please? And don't take all my money." I held out my palm with all the coins and looked at him like, "Please help me." He laughed and grabbed the coins he needed out of my hand. Okay, that's very nice. Hopefully he grabbed the proper amount of coins. We learned after that, but it was a funny, sweet exchange. Yes, that's innocent. That's nice. I like that. Probably kind of weird from the bartender's point of view, but it is funny. And also, like, Americans like me, like, even if we go on vacation, we know, like, we don't know things. We know, like, you're going to have to be a little silly and humble and ask for things, and that's all fine and good. It's really when Americans are kind of know-it-alls and abrasive and aggressive while out in the world. That's when it's kind of inappropriate and kind of giving America that bad image, I imagine. What else we got here? Generally, I find asking if they can drive to Glasgow, then Cardiff, then London, then York, and see everything in one day, I find that funny. Okay, I wouldn't. I wouldn't know. Like, I wouldn't imagine you could drive to, like, 3 or 4 cities in a day. I think it's because Americans, like, Britain is so much smaller in comparison to America. So Americans, I guess I could see where some think, oh, you can just drive across the whole place in one day and visit everything because it's small compared to America. No, but then it's like, I'm sure that'd be like trying to visit all the cities in a single American state in a day, which would be outrageous. Every American would know that's just silly. So it's kind of silly they even asked this, but it is funny that they ask it. At least it's like kind of innocent. One girl kept asking how long the train is to Glasgow. Glasgow. That's how I say it. Oh no, Glasgow, from Carlisle, and literally the woman behind the counter was like, "I have no idea what you're saying. I have no idea what you mean." I do not blame them. I don't blame them. Where is Glasgow? That's how I say it. Oh no. One gave me money in a shop once, like I was the perfume counter girl, and he asked where something was, and I told him. He gave me a $5, and I thought maybe he was paying, and was like, "Can I scan the item?" But he'd walked off. We don't accept tips, so I was confused. I know, like, tipping in the US, but I wasn't expecting it as a perfume counter girl. Yeah, I am starting to learn that Americans sure tip more for many more professions than a lot of places around the world. Like, we'll tip our barber, our hairdresser. You might tip someone if they helped bring your groceries out to your car for you. Tip someone at, like, a massage place or whatever, the massage therapist. Yeah, there's a lot of tipping outside of just restaurants in America. And I don't exactly know how common that is in other countries. But these Americans, like, randomly tipping people on the street in Britain is strange to me. Like, I wouldn't do that. Not that I'd complain if I got that. When I visited Mount Vesuvius, first of all, there was an American on the tour that was pretty pissed she had to walk uphill. You know, to get to the top of a mountain. Yes, if you're going to visit a mountain, you should expect that you will be climbing a mountain. I agree. When we got to the top, there were a bunch of Americans who had bought a 10-foot flagpole and flag with them? Like they brought an American flag? Ugh. That's just awkward. Like, what? They pitched it in the rim and all chest bumped and shouted and whooped and high fived each other. It was excruciatingly embarrassing. That's embarrassing to just read about. They bought a flagpole? Like an American flag? And put it in a foreign country? That's just like that flag should have been like immediately taken out. Like that's like outrageously disrespectful. Like outrageous. Wow, that's kind of disrespectful. That's beyond disrespect. That's like they need to be removed. Like that's not even funny. I witnessed one American lady who wouldn't buy an Irish Aran sweater because her husband was convinced they came from Iran. Yes, I imagine that sounds like a typical American thing. Wow. Okay. What is this? Um, a similar thing happened to me online. American. So what state do you live in? Me. Scotland. American. Cool. Do you know the name of insert name of anybody? He's from Wales. Oh my. Yeah. This like reminds me of asking people in Britain if they know the Queen. Have met the Queen. Have met the King. It's like, why? Just because someone is from a certain place, why would that mean everyone knows them? That if they're famous, it probably means they don't know them personally. Like, it's just common sense. Do Americans just lack common sense? Oh, here's a story. Okay, American. So where are you from? Me. York. American. You don't sound like you're from New York. Have you lived in the UK a long time? Oh my gosh. Me. Just York. I'm from York, not New York. It's the place in England that New York was named after. I'm glad they said it like that. American. That's interesting. I've never heard of it. Pulls out London Underground map. Can you show me which station it's nearest to? No. Dude, no. He did seem genuinely interested and was friendly. He was just clueless about the UK in general. That's like one of the biggest things I think about these stories, about weird, funny things with Americans, tourists. The Americans, I think, for the most part, I'm going to give them a little credit here. They're harmless. It's kind of egregious what Americans don't know and what they'll ask, but they'll do it politely or innocently and be like, hey, York, like, can you point that out on the London map? And, you know, it's just, you can take it however you want, as disrespect or as just, innocent ignorance, if you will. But it does not surprise me that a lot of the American tourism stories are like this. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm sure it can get old to people as well in other countries, especially in Britain. But what can you do? It is what it is, and it's all, hopefully for the most part, in good fun. Anyway, I enjoyed this. These were pretty good. And it gave me like the other perspective for once, like the perspective of people in Britain, how they like dealing with Americans, dealing with American tourists. So that was pretty funny for me, pretty enjoyable. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain, British culture, stuff about Britain I've never seen or learned about before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.